Hey guys, how's it going? So, why is erectile dysfunction a pandemic? Um, so, basically, since at the start when obviously the pill came out. So, okay, back up a bit. If you ever look at, say, the sexual frequencies in Chinese medicine, they talk about how often you should have or ejaculate each week. Okay, now that's just a little guide. Okay, for people, you got to understand Chinese medicine tries to massage the content through the with the society you live in. They try and work with you and your mentality. Okay, they don't try and give you too extreme. If it's best for you, sort of situations. Okay, so that's to me is a guide if you use that sexual moderation. Okay, if you're with your partner. Okay, now in traditional Chinese medicine, as I've said in the past, a young man or a young boy shouldn't engage in lustful thoughts or lustful activities until the age of 25. And if he does this, he will develop more. He'll have health and vitality throughout his life. Okay. They even say a bit of a slight leap in his walk, okay, due to the energy he has, right? I don't know, old-fashioned terminology, right? But I'm a big believer that young men, if they were to not engage in sexual activity or lustful thoughts and leave it till the age of 25, they'll have a much healthier body, a much developed sex drive, stronger sex drive. Okay, they'll be able to. I believe that their sexual organs will fully developed. So that means when I say a slightly larger, I'm not saying it'll be massive. I'm just saying it'll be a slightly larger sexual organs. Okay, and stronger. Okay, so. If I could turn back time, I'd love to follow that advice. Okay, but today, young boys, and I believe that erectile dysfunction is a pandemic. Okay, because without medication, okay, because young boys are engaging in pornography and sexual activity at a very including masturbation and ejaculation at a very very young age, and they're doing it a lot. Okay, so it is, to me, it is a pandemic, and that men are hitting to the age of 20 to 25, and they start to really struggle. Okay, in Chinese medicine, they also believe that, like in some parts of Chinese medicine, you've got to understand there's a large range of people, and you've got to understand the Communist Party really destroyed a lot of the Chinese Communist Party, I should say, really destroyed a lot of the teachings. Okay, now today, due to huge amounts of corruption in China, they're cutting off horns of extinct animals and things like that. Which back in the 60s, if you were a Taoist, a Buddhist, or a Confucius, that'd be frowned upon to kill an animal for its tusks and things like that. Okay, to kill an animal just for its tusks and so you can gain profit from it would be horrible. But due to the corruption in China, there's a lot of false information. Okay, in Chinese medicine. In fact, I spoke to a Chinese lady the other day, and I spoke to her about acupuncture, and she was talking about the electrical acupuncture, and she didn't know anything. Like she thought she knew a lot about Chinese medicine, but she didn't know anything about the needle acupuncture, where you put needles into the body, which was really unusual to me. Okay, so I believe there's a lot of corruption in the Chinese in Chinese medicine today in communist China. However, there are a few things that slip through the cracks, and one of it is obviously how often you should ejaculate, sexual frequencies. But they even say in Chinese medicine you shouldn't ejaculate more than once in a day. Okay, where men are today because of the pill. Like, you think about it, when it's a pandemic. I mean, you look at once before the pill and all that sort of contraception. You think about it. Back in the day, there were people growing up. They had to be careful, because they'd be burdening themselves with too many children if they weren't careful enough. But if they had, so I believe the pill is a big factor that changed men's sexual health a lot, and then also the pornography and the I'll call it smut. Okay, I don't like using that word because it sounds old-fashioned, but all that stuff today is just really damaging men. And you got to think about it, guys. If you have, and then do you blame women for cheating on you when you have erectile dysfunction? Do we blame the women for, if a woman, you're married to a woman and you can't have an erection, and she one day met some, is she really that superhuman that she won't do anything with anyone else? So that's where I say lust is really, wrong, and lust should be connected to ejaculation as well, because once you lose your sex drive, you're in a really difficult situation with your wife. Okay, and very painful. This is a very painful world out there. Okay, so and do you blame the woman? You spent all your life masturbating to pornography. I'm not going to sound popular here, okay, but you spent your life looking at pornography, ejaculating, masturbating, overly doing it, engaging in lustful activities and a lustful life, and then when you hit 30 years old, you're struggling with your sex drive, and you've got a beautiful woman who's human, okay, and she makes a mistake, okay. Do you blame her for that? But this is a pandemic, so is female cheating really a male's fault, or is it a female's fault? Who's creating all the pornography? Who's showing off all their bodies today? Women, okay? So in some ways, it's also maybe women's responsibility that men and their sons, okay? How many women out there encourage their boys to have a girlfriend at 16 years old, The mothers think it's all cute and all that sort of stuff, okay? So, who do we blame for cheating these days when women cheat? Do we blame the men or do we blame the women? The men that can't maintain an erection, or the woman who's who's encouraging their son to go out and have a young girlfriend. The son who's young, who's not fully developed, and she's sending him out there to find himself a girlfriend because it's all cute, okay? You can't blame anyone, okay? It's a very hard world out there, and a very toxic world for marriages and families. Okay, guys, hopefully this helps in some way.